All right, welcome to Today in Art. Today is August 19th, 2018, and I'm Christopher Pack. What is this? This is a podcast, both video on YouTube and audio through Anchor. So if you're wanting to see the images I'm looking at and the article I'm looking at, there's a video on YouTube, but I'll still have all of the article links listed in the description. So I'm an artist that wants to educate himself more. So I figured a daily education of information. Does that make sense? Well, I'll do that. Then, of course, if you're listening, especially if you're an artist or you're interested in art, or just that whole genre idea, you can do it too. And then, of course, I'm going to give my little opinion on the piece. YouTube's Christopher Pack. Anchor will be Today in Art. Then I'm also Instagram, just Christopher Ray Pack. And my Twitter is ChrisPack1986. And hopefully I'll have all that listed in the description. So let's get into it. So just Google art news. And let's go to The Power of Art. So that is posted like 20 hours ago. This is in the Salina Journal. Yeah, it was posted yesterday, August 18th, by Gary DeMuth. Power of Art. The Salina Art Center, 242 South Santa Fe, is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. Awesome. The Salina Art Center's core mission has been to create exchanges among artists, and audiences that reveal life. That's as true now as when the Art Center first opened its doors 40 years ago in a small section of the art wing at Sam's Hall of Fine Arts in Kansas Wesleyan University. So it's in Kansas. I thought Santa Fe was Texas. I guess it's Santa Fe Street. All right. Cool. At that time, it was an experiment started by a group of local artists, arts educators, and community members who sought to open an exhibition space focusing on works by new and emerging artists in innovative and groundbreaking exhibitions utilizing paintings, prints, sculptures, performance art, and complex installations in multiple spaces. All right, that's pretty cool. It is Sunday. I am wanting to do these daily, but I'd like to get this one well with under 30 minutes if I can because of the upload time. So we'll see. And if you're listening, if you want to leave a comment, do you like 15-minute, 30-minute? I mean, I've done a couple. They're like an hour long, but they were like multiple articles. Daily, once a week. I don't know. I'm still experimenting with it. I'm trying it out. I am doing 30 daily podcasts for sure, just to get kind of a foot in the door and see how it goes. And of course, myself, and if you're listening, we're learning together. That you can hear me talk, which is fantastic. During its 40 years, the Salina Art Center also created an education wing catering to both children and adults. A 92-seat cinema that screens first-run independent and foreign films and documentaries. A warehouse to provide live in-studio and workspace for resident artists, and a paper-making project designed for educational, expressive, and therapeutic purposes. See, I kind of like the cinema aspect, too. Because I know here in Columbus, where I'm at, they have, they show stuff at the Wexner, but I also have seen at the Gateway Film Center, kind of like their cinema near, it's pretty much like on campus. Like the Wexner's on campus, too, at OSU. They seem to film kind of like artsy independent films and stuff too. Then like there's this whole thing between there's like fine artists that create video or do video work, then there's like cinematography, and like there's trying to be kind of a cross, but it's hard to say that they're both or one or the other. Because you think cinematography, you think more film and like movie making, and it's its own art, but it's almost not quite the same as fine art. because when you think cinematography, it's like storytelling, it's like visually, and I guess like auditory, like experience, while like video work from an artist kind of delves into like certain specific things where they kind of, one's more of a story and one's more of a like idea, I guess is one way to put it. All right. The community members that started the Salina Art Center in 1978 as a nonprofit organization were far-sighted in their belief that artists and citizens could come together in a community setting to create something unique, said Sarah Lynn Reese Hardy, director of the Salina Art Center from 1986 to 2005. So she was there almost 20 years. 40 years is certainly a milestone, said Reese Hardy. I'm assuming. Who now is director of the Spencer Museum of Art in Lawrence. The Salina community is to be congratulated for sustaining a place like the Art Center. It didn't happen by accident. It took a lot of work. To the last 40 years, people have to have the belief in the power of art. This place is proof of the power of art. The Salina Art Center will be celebrating its 40th birthday with a birthday bash Friday at the Art Center Warehouse, 149 South 4th. Although the party is for Salina Art Center members, new members can sign up by going to salinaartcenter.org. So that seems pretty interesting. Incorporated in 1978. In 1978, a group of Salinans formed the Salina Art Center to be an independent institution not under the wing of a college or university, like many art centers, but to exist as an independent institution governed by a board of directors. The center was incorporated on August 4th, 1978. So it's kind of... So it's kind of like at the Kansas Wesleyan University, but it's not part of the university directly. That's what it seems like. All right. Its first director, a part-time position, was Susan Glenn, who, when hired, said, "Art shouldn't be for the people who think they need it, but for everyone." During the first season, exhibits include a Kansas University art faculty show, a jury show of Kansas artists, and an exhibit of regional artists entitled Visions 81. There's that whole thing that like people that go to school and get like fine arts degrees and stuff like that, or even like they're saying even like liberal arts degrees now, like oh, you shouldn't want to pay thousands of dollars for a useless degree. But I mean, when you look, then like this argument's like thrown back at them, like anything, like any movie or film, like everything you look at is like design, like industrial design, like illustration, graphic design, all that stuff is like artistic elements. So there's that big debacle between kind of like more creative designs and outlets versus, you know, getting a job as like an engineer or a mechanic or something. So yeah. All the exhibitions were local. We weren't doing any groundbreaking work then, said Karen Black, a Salina attorney and longtime member. They were just a group of movers and shakers who got together and thought we needed something in the community like this. We didn't have anything before that. Building purchase. Current Salina Art Center board president David Olston, a 1975 graduate of Salina South High School and a sculptor, said the late 70s and early 80s were exciting for the art of Salina. This kind of reminds me, I'm originally from Mount Airy, North Carolina, and I'm like, I left, there's like nothing there, so I left, and I'm like, now I'm an artist. Then now there seems to be almost kind of like this, I Although they're trying to turn that town into like a tourist town because like Mayberry and the Andy Griffith Show and all this stuff, and there's like any kind of industry they had in that town left in like the 90s because it was like it's a small town now of like 10,000 people. I'm talking about Mount Airy, not this. I'm just relating back to me. Uh, they had like a huge like Renfro sock making factory, but in the 90s, I believe, and it might have been, is it because of the NAFTA or whatever it is? Anyway, like all that got shipped, like a huge amount of like manufacturing jobs got like shipped down to Mexico because of like cheaper labor. So like it became, it essentially became fast food restaurants, Walmart, and a few banks in that town. And then I left, because I left in like 2004. Like as soon as I went to high school, I like left for the military and got out of there because I realized there wasn't any job opportunities there, and I needed a way to pay for college too. But now they're like trying to revitalize that area, mainly off of tourism. But I guess there was a person that went to the same high school as I did, like a few years after me, and I think they went to art at maybe Appalachian State. I believe now they are back there with a gallery. I want to say it's like the Blue Rabbit Gallery, I believe. I went in there when I was there from like Autumn Leaves Festival last year. But I believe they're trying to. I believe they're trying to incorporate art into that town because I think they have like a. They put up like a brick sculpture. It's probably. I mean, I guess brick is clay, but like they're trying to use. They're partly trying to use art to make it a more beautiful place, I guess. Anyway, that was a tangent. So, back to the article. There were a lot of people like Martha Ray, former director of Salina Arts and Humanities, who were exuberant about bringing art to Salina, he said. Here was an organization that thought it was important to have visual literacy in our lives, who thought it was important to show contemporary art outside an academic structure. It was striking how a conversation was happening here. As community interest in Salina Art Center blossomed and attendance grew, the board of directors decided to purchase a larger and more accessible exhibition space. In 1987, a building was purchased at 242 South Santa Fe that contained 7,000 square feet of exhibition and education space. In 1989, the adjoining building was purchased and renovated into an even bigger space that officially opened in 1996. Innovative exhibits. Reese Hardy became director in 1986. I was born in 1986. I'm 31. I'm turning 32 next month. So this is a while ago. Reese Hardy became director in 1986. She previously had worked for Ray at Salina Arts and Humanities, helping infuse artists into schools and local organizations. When the Salina Art Center board approached her as a replacement for Glenn, Reese Hardy saw an opportunity to help create a major institution focusing on contemporary and cutting-edge art. It became a labor of love for me, she said. What made it unusual and unique was that it was happening at a time when very few community spaces were thinking about contemporary art as it weaved into community life. We were not going to have permanent collections, which would allow us to bring in really important works on a temporary basis, both internationally based work and provocative works. Reese Hardy said a few key exhibits stand out from her tenure: an exhibition of photography from Eastern Europe from both artists and people under duress, new art from China, exhibited soon after the uprising at Tiananmen Square in 1989, and an interactive art and technology exhibit that explored how artists engage with technology. It's like coffee. You always gotta drink coffee. All right, there's a couple of slides of images here if you're listening to the audio. 1978 Salina Art Center founded. Salina Art Center was founded by a collaboration of artists, art educators, community members who sought to create an exhibition space in the community, initially housed at Kansas Wesleyan University and led by volunteers. So this is like a kind of like a slide of their like timeline. It has 1987. The Art Center moves to downtown. The Art Center moved into its current facility, downtown Salina. The first exhibition in the new space opened on February 1988 was What's So Funny? Art Cartoons and Comic Strips. The show consisted of 64 original comic strips from historian Richard Marshall's personal collection. 1993, the Education Wing formed. In the early 90s, a group of patrons determined a need for better space to educate the thousands of children participating in programming each year, and planning began for an education wing. Part of the redesign in facilities included a discovery area opened in 1993. This hands-on space was an innovative concept for its time and provided hands-on exploration for all ages. I want to say that the obviously this art center is different than the Columbus Museum of Art, but I think they have like a kids center as well. I have no idea when that formed there. 1997, Patrick Daughtry Exhibition. The Art Center has continually created opportunities for artists to engage with the community as a whole. Patrick Daughtry is one example of an artist who not only had an exhibition at the Art Center, but he was also an artist who participated in the Smoky Hill River Festival. I don't know what necessarily that is. Can I? I can't. I'm just curious. Smoky Hill. Was it a river festival, it said? Festival. It's a project of the Salina Arts and Humanities. 4 idyllic days each June. Salina's Oakdale Park becomes a lavish escapade. All right, so they're a little art center that they hold, or art festival thing. 1997, Art Center Cinema opened. The Art Center Cinema opened. The cinema is a 92-seat venue that shows first-run independent feature film, documentaries, and foreign film. Cool. 2007, Art Center Warehouse opened. Remodeled warehouse opens. The warehouse provides a live in-studio and workspace for artists to engage in long-term projects in our community. See, something I'm interested in, and something I should probably apply to is, because I believed up here they were talking about it. Maybe they didn't. Like something I need to like look into probably is like finding a place that has or does like a residency and go there for like a month or something like that. I think there's like month, 6 months, and I think there's like year-long ones as well. And I believe in Columbus they do a yearly exchange with people in like they bring German artists here. Is it 6 months or 6 weeks or something like that? Then like some Ohio artists go there, and I believe it's Dresden, Germany. Like supposedly we're like sister cities or something somehow. I don't know how that works. 2007, John Rappel-I exhibition. Salina Art Center welcomed John. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm gonna say Rappel-I to Salina. The exhibition Strange World opened September 2007. Rappel-I was also the first artist in residence in the newly remodeled warehouse. So they were talking about they have like a residence there. Maybe I ought to look into their residency if it's a thing they have open all the time. 2015, SAC Paperworks. SAC Paperworks was established to support the Art Center mission by integrating hand paper making in a variety of community and healthcare settings for educational, expressive, and therapeutic purposes. Art can be very therapeutic. It can be a mental release of tension, which is part of the reason I got into it. And, I don't know, where we go. 2018, Salina Biannual Contemporary Art from the Mountain Plains region. In October 1979, the Art Center organized its first exhibition, a selection of work chosen from the over 150 submission by Kansas artists. That should be submissions. By Kansas artists. The juried show became an annual favorite, but discontinued in 2002. In 2018, Salina Art Center was proud to unveil the new biannual format for the next generation juried exhibition opportunity. And that's the latest part in that timeline. All right, back to the article. Magic Every Day. In 1999, the innovative work being done at the Salina Art Center led to Reese Hardy being invited to become Director of Museums and Visual Art for the National Endowment for the Arts in Washington, D.C., a position she held until 2002, so around a 3-year period. During my interview with the chairman of the National Endowment for Arts, I was asked how it was possible to do the kind of work we did in Salina, she said. We were able to build a national reputation by developing a strong position of freedom of expression and advocacy of art. With the talented staff who made magic happen every day, I had so much freedom to experiment with ideas. We also were able to commission artists to do new work. Beyond traditional. Bill North, the current director of the Salina Art Center, who was hired in 2012, so he's been there for 6 years now, remembered coming to the Art Center as a graduate student at KU in the early 1990s and being impressed with the work being done there. Up to that point, I was coming out of an encyclopedic museum setting, he said. The Art Center was the first time I was exposed to more community-based programming. It opened my eyes and mind up to the possibilities of art beyond more traditional ways. Today, the reach of the Salina Art Center can be found in the Art Center Cinema, opened in 1997 at 150 South Santa Fe. The Art Center Warehouse, which opened in 2007 at 149 South 4th, with artist John Rappleye. That's probably not how you say it. Who became the first of many artists in residence to utilize the facility. And the main center at 242 South Santa Fe, which houses a renovated education wing called the Artery, and recently introduced the Salina Biannual Exhibition, a continuing showcase of juried contemporary art focusing on Kansas and Mountain Plain region artists. Mountain Plain. Is that what they call like the Midwest, the Mountain Plains? Because I believe I'm in Ohio, so I believe Kansas isn't, but a few states over or a few states down. I'm not really sure. I could probably look at a map. I'll do that later. In the era of cultural and political divisiveness, North said, an institution such as the Salina Art Center is needed more than ever now and into the future. What makes the Art Center valuable is being a place where people can have conversations in an environment that is safe and respectful, he said. That is the essence of the Art Center. That's what we are, and we've been doing that for 40 years. So it's a very community-based run type of art center. I know here in Columbus, obviously in Columbus, if you're around here, you know about it. I mean, we have like the museum. We also have like the Wexner Center. But also within recent years, and there's probably some that have came out of like the OSU art department. But I also know there's some, because I went to CCAD, like the Columbus College of Art and Design. I know some of the students from there, like my year and maybe a few years after and a few years before, have created like certain community. They either created or like stepped into positions of like almost like community community like organizations or galleries and stuff, because I know there's like the Kurgat Studio Collective, which is like studios, and they've been like hosting shows or events and stuff. I know there's like Mint Gallery, because I went to one of they have like a huge like old meat packing warehouse that they're like in, and they were having like huge exhibitions and shows and events and stuff. I know Roy G. Biv is like a non-profit gallery. They've been around for a bit. They may be similar to this place. And also there is I know there is it's on Gay Street. What is it? I go to it all the time. Oh, what is it? Is it? I'm gonna make sure I get this right. Yeah, it's Skylab Gallery, which is like on the, is it 4th or 5th floor? There's like a building there. Then they have like the upper floor in this building is like a gallery. I think people also live there as well, but they have like the space like set up there that they have art and gallery shows at. So it can definitely be done. It's like a lot of at first it'd be like a lot of grassroots movement, but I think even more today, like with social media, you can probably get things going. But yeah, that's where are we at? We're still 26 minutes. I was trying to get it done quicker, but yeah, if you have any comments, leave them in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, or I don't know if Anchor does comments or something, or wherever it gets pushed out to. If not, you can like hit me up on Twitter. It's ChrisPack1986, or my Instagram. I was using my art Instagram, Christopher Pack Art, but I think I want to have the I think I want this to set on a different Instagram, so it'd just be Christopher Ray Pack, which is kind of my personal one, so I can keep the other one for like my art. I didn't want to like put the thumbnails out there for it and confuse people between what's my art and what's the art of this that I'm showing. So I was wanting to have that separate. So yeah, have a good day. Check it out. Tell me what you like. This is still always evolving since I'm trying to figure it out. But have a good one. Peace. Later. Bye.